Ever wondered why your mechanic drives a 20-year-old Toyota while recommending you buy the latest models? Or why they smile when you complain about repair costs on your luxury SUV, knowing they'd never make that mistake themselves? Here's the truth that most mechanics will never admit to your face. They know exactly which cars are bulletproof, which ones won't drain your wallet, and which vehicles will still be running strong when everything else is in the junkyard. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the automotive industry's best-kept secrets. Welcome to the Drive Intel, where we dig deep into the cars that professionals actually trust with their own hard-earned money. Stay with me, because number 4 on this list will completely change how you think about buying your next vehicle. Before we reveal these hidden gems, do me a favor and smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the Drive Intel and hit that notification bell because we're bringing you insider automotive knowledge that dealerships don't want you to know. Trust me, you'll want to catch every single video we release. Now, let's dive into the first car that mechanics quietly buy for themselves, while steering you towards something completely different. The first vehicle on our list is the Honda Civic, specifically models from the late 1990s through the early 2000s. You might think this is obvious, but here's what mechanics know that you don't. These Civics were built during Honda's golden era of engineering, before the company started chasing profit margins over reliability. Walk into any independent repair shop, and you'll likely see at least one mechanic driving a 96 to 2000 Civic with over 300,000 miles on the odometer. The reason is simple. The engines in these cars, particularly the D-Series and B-Series motors, are nearly indestructible. Mechanics have seen these engines survive neglect that would kill modern vehicles twice over. We're talking about missed oil changes, overheating incidents, and abuse that would send most cars straight to the scrapyard. What's their secret? Old school engineering with minimal electronics, simple fuel injection systems, and parts so affordable that even major repairs don't break the bank. A transmission rebuild on a modern CVT-equipped car can cost you $3,000 to $4,000. On these Civics, you're looking at under $1,000, and that's if you even need one because the manual transmissions in these models are legendary for their durability. Mechanics also love that they can fix almost anything on these cars with basic tools in their driveway. No expensive diagnostic equipment required, no proprietary software, just straightforward mechanical work. The aftermarket support is massive too, meaning parts are everywhere and cheap. While your neighbor struggles with a $15,000 repair bill on their European luxury sedan, the mechanic down the street is cruising in their paid-off Civic, spending maybe $500 a year on maintenance. They know something that most car buyers ignore. The cheapest car to own isn't the one with the lowest monthly payment, it's the one that never breaks down. Moving to our second choice, we have the Toyota Tacoma, particularly the second and third generation models. Ask any mechanic what truck they'd buy with their own money, and 9 times out of 10, they'll point to a Tacoma. Here's why this matters to you. Mechanics see every brand of truck come through their bays. They see the Ford F-150s with timing chain problems, the Chevrolet Silverados with transmission issues, and the Dodge Rams with electrical nightmares. Then, they see Tacomas with 250,000 miles that come in for nothing more than routine maintenance. The 4-cylinder and V6 engines in these trucks are bulletproof. The frames on newer models don't rust like the older ones did, and the resale value is so strong that a 10-year-old Tacoma often sells for 60 to 70% of its original price. Mechanics appreciate that these trucks are built with simplicity in mind. The 4-wheel drive systems are reliable, the suspensions can take serious abuse, and when something does eventually wear out, it's usually straightforward to fix. Compare this to modern American trucks loaded with aluminum bodies, turbocharged engines, and 10-speed transmissions that require specialized training to repair. Mechanics also know that Tacomas hold their value because they've earned their reputation honestly. It's not marketing hype, it's decades of proven reliability. When a mechanic spends their own $40,000 on a truck, they're not gambling on whether it'll last. They're investing in a vehicle they know will still be running strong when they're ready to retire. The Tacoma represents something rare in today's automotive world, a vehicle that's actually worth what you pay for it. The third car that mechanics secretly love is the Mazda MX-5 Miata. Now, you might be surprised by this one because it's not a practical family car or a workhorse truck. But here's the insider perspective. Mechanics don't just care about reliability, they also want driving enjoyment. The Miata delivers that without the maintenance headaches of European sports cars. These lightweight roadsters have been in production since 1989, and mechanics have watched them prove their worth over decades. The engines are simple, naturally aspirated 4-cylinders that love to rev and rarely break. The transmissions, both manual and automatic, are durable and smooth. What mechanics really appreciate is that Miatas are designed to be serviced. The engine bay isn't crammed with unnecessary components. You can actually reach everything you need to work on. Contrast this with a Porsche Boxster or a BMW Z4, where a simple repair might require removing half the car just to access a component. Mechanics also know that Miatas are cheap to maintain because they share parts with other Mazda vehicles. Insurance is affordable, fuel economy is excellent, and the cars are light enough that they don't eat through tires and brakes like heavier sports cars do. When a mechanic wants a weekend fun car, they're not buying a high-strung Italian exotic that needs $5,000 services every year. They're buying a Miata that they can drive hard, maintain easily, and enjoy without the financial stress. It's the smart enthusiast's choice, and mechanics are nothing if not smart about their vehicle decisions. Now we arrive at number 4, and this is the one that'll shock most people. Mechanics frequently buy the Chevrolet Panther platform vehicles, specifically the Ford Crown Victoria, Mercury Grand Marquis, and Lincoln Town Car. Yes, these are the same cars that served as police cruisers and taxis for decades. Here's what mechanics understand about these vehicles that most buyers completely miss. These cars were engineered for severe duty use, which means they're overbuilt compared to consumer vehicles. The 4.6-liter V8 engine is one of the most reliable motors ever produced in America. It's unstressed, making modest power, which means it lasts forever. Mechanics have seen these engines go 400,000 miles with nothing more than regular oil changes. The transmissions are equally robust, and the body-on-frame construction means the cars can take abuse that would destroy modern unibody sedans. Parts are incredibly cheap because these cars were produced in massive numbers and share components across 3 brands. A mechanic can buy a low-mileage Crown Victoria from a police auction for $3,000 to $5,000, drive it for years with minimal maintenance, and sell it for almost what they paid. Try doing that with any modern vehicle. These cars also offer something rare today: simplicity. There's no cylinder deactivation, no turbochargers, no CVT transmissions, no complex infotainment systems to fail, just a solid, simple car that starts every time and gets you where you're going. Mechanics appreciate that they can fix anything on these vehicles with basic tools, and when parts do wear out, replacements cost pennies compared to modern cars. While everyone else is financing expensive SUVs with questionable reliability, smart mechanics are driving these bulletproof sedans and laughing all the way to the bank. Our 5th pick is the Lexus ES series, particularly models from the early 2000s. Mechanics see the luxury car market from a unique perspective. They watch wealthy clients spend thousands on repairs for their German luxury sedans, then they go home to their Lexus ES that never needs anything beyond oil changes and brake pads. The ES is essentially a fancy Toyota Camry, built on the same platform with the same proven powertrains. But here's the key. You can buy a used ES for a fraction of what it cost new, and it'll still deliver that luxury car experience without the European car maintenance bills. Mechanics love the 3.5-liter V6 in these cars because it's the same engine used in countless Toyota and Lexus models, proven over millions of miles to be virtually indestructible. The transmissions are smooth and reliable, the interiors hold up beautifully, and the ride quality remains excellent even on high-mileage examples. What really sells mechanics on these cars is the cost of ownership. A 10-year-old Mercedes E-Class might cost you $3,000 to $5,000 a year in maintenance and repairs. A comparable Lexus ES will cost you maybe $800. Mechanics see this difference every single day in their shops. They know which cars are money pits and which ones are smart investments. The ES gives you leather seats, a quiet cabin, good fuel economy, and bulletproof reliability. It's the thinking person's luxury car, and mechanics are definitely thinking about their bank accounts when they make vehicle choices. The 6th vehicle mechanics secretly prefer is the Honda CR-V, specifically first and second generation models. These compact SUVs represent everything mechanics value: reliability, practicality, and low cost of ownership. The CR-V uses Honda's proven 4-cylinder engines and transmissions, components that mechanics have watched survive abuse across multiple model lines. What sets the CR-V apart is its real-world usability. It's not trying to be a luxury vehicle or a serious off-roader. It's just a well-engineered box that carries people and cargo without drama. Mechanics appreciate that these vehicles rarely need major repairs. The all-wheel drive system is simple and durable. Unlike the complex systems in modern crossovers that fail expensively, the suspension components are straightforward to replace when they do wear out, and the brake systems are conventional and cheap to service. Mechanics also know that CR-Vs hold their value extremely well because buyers have figured out they're reliable. A 15-year-old CR-V with proper maintenance can still fetch a good price, while comparable American or European SUVs from the same era are nearly worthless. When a mechanic needs a family vehicle that won't leave them stranded or broke, they're buying a CR-V. It won't turn heads or win any performance awards, but it'll start every morning and get the job done without complaint. That's worth more than any flashy feature or luxury badge. Finally, our 7th pick is the Toyota Corolla, particularly 9th and 10th generation models. If the Civic is the mechanic's smart choice, the Corolla is their safest bet. These cars are so reliable that they've become almost boring to talk about, but that's exactly why mechanics buy them. Walk through any mechanic's parking lot and you'll spot multiple Corollas, often with odometers showing numbers that would terrify most car buyers. 300,000 miles? Just getting broken in. Mechanics have seen these cars survive conditions that would destroy lesser vehicles. The engines are undersquared and low revving, which means they produce less power but last essentially forever. The transmissions, whether manual or automatic, are engineered conservatively and rarely fail. What mechanics really love is that Corollas are cheap to own in every possible way. Insurance is low because they're not flashy or expensive. Fuel economy is excellent, saving money every single day. Parts are everywhere and cost almost nothing because Toyota made millions of these cars. Mechanics can fix a Corolla blindfolded with one hand because they've worked on so many of them. There's no mystery, no complex diagnosis required, just straightforward repairs that anyone with basic skills can handle. So when mechanics talk among themselves about the smartest car purchase possible, the Corolla always comes up. It's not exciting, it's not luxurious, and it won't impress anyone at a car show. But it will run for decades with minimal investment. And at the end of the day, that's what mechanics value most. They've seen every marketing gimmick and every overhyped new model, and they keep coming back to the simple truth. Boring reliability beats flashy features every single time. So there you have it, 7 cars that mechanics actually buy for themselves while they're fixing your expensive mistakes. Notice a pattern here? These vehicles aren't new, they're not loaded with technology, and they're definitely not what car commercials try to sell you. They're simple, reliable, and cheap to maintain. Mechanics know that the automotive industry makes money by convincing you to buy complex, expensive vehicles that need frequent repairs. They're not falling for that trap, and now neither should you. If you found this information valuable, drop a comment below telling us which of these 7 cars surprised you most. Better yet, if you're a mechanic yourself, tell us what you're driving and why. Share this video with anyone who's thinking about buying a car, because this information could save them thousands of dollars. The Drive Intel is here to give you the insider knowledge that the automotive industry doesn't want you to have. We've got more eye-opening content coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is turned on. Remember, the smartest car buyers aren't the ones with the newest vehicles, they're the ones who understand what actually matters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we reveal even more secrets that dealers and manufacturers are hiding from you.